That's incredible.
Tonight, a look back at a frantic Atlanta race, the anticlimactic finish to the race, and Carson Hocevar becoming a villain in the garage. I can't believe I'm actually doing this a second week in a row. Looks like the initiative hasn't run out, but with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get back to the race recap. You know what would be fun after turning up lots of equipment from the season opener? Doing it again the following Sunday! Right from the get-go, drivers were shuffling all over the place trying to make things happen, and the first stage would go without a hitch. Josh Berry would win the first stage of the day, and as the second stage commenced, we would start to see the first incidents of the day, starting on lap 82, as Ty Dillon blew a tire. Several laps later, on lap 102, Eric Jones gets spun and is taken to the garage for extensive repairs. How about Todd Gilliland? He's been having a neat race so far. With that Aaron's Dream Machine, well, it looks like it's gone awry as he loses a tire on lap 134. With 11 laps to go in the stage,
Stenhouse, and into the wall goes the 9.
The fan favorite would be involved in an accident. The Dawsonville Pool House puts a bounty on Stenhouse Jr. With only a few laps to go in the stage, drivers near the front started to battle hard for the stage win. After Logano tried to pass Bowman, the top line was able to pull away, with Kyle Larson winning the second stage. Going into the final stage, as with all pack racing, intensity would naturally intensify. Drivers went 3 wide trying to get their lines moving up. Desafortunadamente, Daniel Suarez would not defend his win from last year as he would be wrecked coming off the front stretch. Several laps later, the front stretch would claim several more drivers, as Briscoe brushed the wall and collected Buescher and Bowman in the process. For as minor of a crash it was, it turned major in a matter of minutes. Laps are winding down, and Blaney looks to get a run entering turns 1 and 2, but he gets spun by Hocevar's fast-approaching Chevrolet, but he fortunately remains intact, and is able to get back into the chase for the win. Meanwhile, after the restart, Hocevar manages to get the lead, but Berry, with the Penske Alliance mate in Cindric, is able to garner the lead. But it didn't take long for the Hendrick duo of Larson and Byron to catch up to them. With 3 laps to go, Larson is making the move to the lead, and
Larson trying to win on a track. Oh no!
Once again, overtime. Larson and Chastain lead the field as the field enters 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, and Hocevar decides now is the time to dump Chastain and try for the lead. Oh my god, down the backstretch, and oh boy, this is gonna be like last year. Oh my god, another one of those Duggin. Oh, what the fuck do you mean, caution? Well, it is what it is. The photo is as clear as day as to who won. Christopher Bell is saved by the light and wins the Better Health 400. Once again, desperation drafting leads to destruction like last weekend. Look, I know drivers want to get the best position they can garner, but man, these actions are getting detrimental to the state of pack racing today. Jesus Christ. Perhaps the biggest story coming from this week was how the race finished. The New York Times as The Athletic chipped in about the topic and asked if it was the right call. From Juice and Hamilton on the Holler Talk podcast, he says that they are trying to go for green flag finishes and that the dual race was an honest-to-God mistake. Well, it's been a couple days removed from the finish of the race, and I've had some time to think over this finish. The leaders had a clear track to race to the line, and they probably should have let it stay green. You know, similar to how Daytona was, as extreme as that scenario turned out to be. However, the safety aspect of the whole ordeal then comes to question. Looking at the number of drivers involved and the close proximity they were to each other, one could make the argument that the race had to end under caution for the safety of the drivers, robbing what would have potentially been another photo finish. Motorsports Wire says that if a wreck occurs in the back of the pack with no oncoming drivers approaching the accident, then the leaders should race to the finish line. I can see that being a mostly correct call, but at the end of the day, this is just a difficult problem that seems to change every different circumstance. What may have been valid for one race would not have been valid for another. And as many of us are aware, NASCAR's officiating does not have the best track record. Meanwhile, the Hocevar subplot has garnered attention as well. From Bob Pockras at Fox Sports, Hocevar managed to finish a career-best second with a shot to win. but did so by making some enemies along the way, pissing off several drivers in the process. Hell, there was a line to talk to him post-race. Osavar did admit that he wasn't the cleanest out there, but felt he had a car that could race up front for the most part, which probably explains his aggressive driving. I mean, he's only in his second year of Cup Series competition, but he's gonna have to watch his back. One mistake could cost him dearly. We finally made it past the first 2 races of the season, and the Pack Racing Blender has finally stopped letting the point standings, thank the Lord. Byron and Bell managed to get the first 2 playoff spots of the season, as the rest of the field is given a position they will have to work with. Some drivers like Tyler Reddick have a good spot to work off of, while others like Chris Buescher are going to need some solid weeks of consistency to distance themselves further up the cutoff. Amidst all that chaos, the season's only starting. I'd say there's no reason to panic, but certainly some validity and frustration after a Superspeedway opening to the season. I can only hope that we never do this again. Have them separate, please. Lots of turns are not only just left for the remainder of the regular season, but a lot of them will be taken care of in this next race, as the Cup Series heads to the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, for the running of the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix, where they will utilize a shorter version of the track. Road course, you say? I say SVG's got a chance, or maybe a kid by the name of Connor Zilish. Or perhaps a slew of numerous overtimes sees a car from the teens on the restart and manages to slip into victory. We can only hope the drivers don't get too crazy entering turn 1. But that's all from me. What in the hell? Second week. Yeah, that's all. You can get on. Goodbye. You made it this far.